Hey guys, welcome back to That Florida Feeling. I hope everybody's had a great week. The rainy season is kind of here. And for whoever thought it started in September, you're a little off. Sorry. If you are on the TikTok page, you'll get that. Hello to all my new followers. There's actually been quite a few of you lately, and I genuinely appreciate it. You guys are so amazing. I know I haven't been putting out lots of new content lately, so thank you for sticking with me through that. I'm still amazed that you guys even want to hear me ramble about Florida. It's really fun to meet all you guys, especially the ones who I've been interacting with on Facebook and Instagram. You guys are awesome, so shout out to you. I will get your names together, I promise. I will give you proper shout outs. I apologize. Thanks for the last few weeks being crazy. I hope that everybody's doing well, that we're all ready for summer and vacations and fun stuff. Side note, can you believe it's almost been a year of That Florida Feeling? I did not realize that until the other day. I was looking at something and I was like, oh my gosh, it's been a year. Y'all still listen to me. After going back and hearing a few of my first episodes, I really love that you guys have stuck with me. So thank you for that. I still cringe when I listen to those episodes. I appreciate that you guys have stuck with me on this journey. I cannot say that thing enough. I am kind of planning something special for the 1-year episode, and I've also got some great topics coming up, so stick with me. Today I want to tell you about a really fun small Gulf side town in Florida. I feel it's overlooked because it's kind of a snowbird haven, but it is really fun. There are some really cool things about this town, and the town I am talking about is Venice. I absolutely love Venice. It's nice, it's quiet, and it has got the most beautiful beaches ever. I mean, crystal blue water, clear, just white sand, beautiful. And I'll be honest, we went a little bit ago. I had the urge to move there. I adulted and I did not, but the urge was there. So Venice is located in Sarasota County, which is in southwest Florida, so it's south of Tampa. And it has a population of about 25,000 people. Now remember, when snowbirds come, it fluctuates, but that's on average. Venice is part of the Northport, Sarasota, Bradenton area. And it's a really quiet area. It's off 75. It's on the ocean. It's got some really cool canal waterways. And I want to tell you about it. I think it's overlooked. I don't know. So Venice is actually in the area that was really home to the Paleo Indians. And there's evidence that they were actually in that area back to 8200 BCE, which is a long time ago. The change in the climate and in Florida meant that the animals that the Indians relied on for food actually kind of changed, obviously due to climate change, weather, water levels, and those animals became extinct. And that made the Indians change the way that they dealt with their ever-changing environment. So they adapted, much like we do in everyday life almost. The Indians actually became known as the archaic people, and there's evidence that they changed to stone tools, and you can actually see these tools on display. Words are hard, y'all. These tools on display that were discovered in this part of southwest Florida. You can actually still see the evidence of the people who lived there long before us. And of course, as the people changed, as the climate changed, and outsiders began to come in, pretty much everything in that area changed, much like it did in the rest of Florida. The Spanish came to the shores in the 1500s. Some parts they were welcome. Some parts they were not. The area that they came to, that specifically in Venice, was actually the boundary between the Tocobaga and Calusa cultures. Side note, I've gotten so much better at pronunciations on these things, guys. The area continued to change, though. Of course, more people found out about Florida, even in the 1800s, and they wanted to go there. Waves of European settlers really came in the 1800s, and Venice was really more like a fishing spot, and it was actually first known as Horse and Chase, based on the carriage-like tree formation that marked a spot for fishermen, where the fishermen got good catches. So people knew about it, but they didn't really know about it, and they had a weird name for it. And so in the 1870s, Robert Rickford Roberts, side note, guys, I think we should bring back the 3 names. I think that's just kind of cool. So Robert Rickford Roberts established a homestead near the bay that actually still bears his name today. So Roberts Bay is named after this man. Although, side note, I don't understand why his first and last name are both Robert and Roberts. But that's, anyways, okay. Family, let's move on. So He established this in the 1870s. And then Francis H. Frank Heigl came from France to Venice in 1883 with his wife and his very large many children family. And he purchased this homestead that Roberts had created, and he wanted to create his own bigger homestead. And if you've ever been to the area, you know that you've seen Heigl on a couple things. This is where it comes from. And this man actually established a citrus operation in this area based on his homestead. And the citrus operation involved creating several citrus canned items such as jams, pickled orange peels, lemon juice, and even orange wine. This man had a vision. And he did this. He actually grew the area. He even established a post office to help the homestead, and it actually serviced about 30 people in the community. He was the postmaster. Unfortunately, the first post office he created did not quite make it. It was shut down some months later. But he did not give up. A post office was officially established in 1888 under the name of Venice, and Roberts himself actually named the town Venice. He saw the waterways and thought of it. And Venice actually saw a large growth during the land movement of the 1920s, so we're talking about 40-ish years after it really got its name. And that meant that a gentleman named Fred H. Albee came to the area and wanted to develop it. He actually bought over 100 acres to develop, and he had a vision that this was going to be a town, a nice town. And so he enlisted the help of John Nolan. And John Nolan was an architect, a city architect basically, and he created the master plan for the streets. And this master plan, you can actually still see to this day. If you ever go into Venice, especially in the older historic part near the downtown area, you can actually see where it says Nolan's Planned Community. And that's who this is named after. And the plan made the parts of the city very easy to walk to and or navigate. It's actually super walkable still today. Sidewalks everywhere. Everything's kind of laid out in a grid. Nothing's really far away. But he really wanted Venice to be laid out in a way to show off its natural landscape, the beauty of the area. He wanted nature to lead the way into the town, and that's actually his quote about Venice. He wanted the town to have a balance between civic virtue and nature. He didn't want to overlook the beauty of the area, which is very important, and it is very beautiful. So Venice is also known for the waterways and the canals, and of course that's how it got in honor of its Italian, or the honor of the Italian city it's named after. And it's just a really cool place. It's also really cool that they have preserved it so well that you can see these old buildings and these laid out architectures and these historic houses. And there are lots of historic places in Venice, and they are mostly on the historic register, and I'm going to talk about them in a minute. Now, if you've heard of Venice, you might have heard it known for you can find shark teeth there. Well, Venice is actually the shark tooth capital of the world. You can comb the beaches and find shark teeth on a regular basis. It's not uncommon to go over to the beach and see people in the waters sifting and combing for teeth. We actually saw a bunch of them. The place we even stayed at was like, we'll let you borrow a sand shovel, based solely on the ability to find shark teeth. So I thought that was cool. And of course, Venice has embraced this. They actually hold a shark tooth festival each year to celebrate the fact that it is the shark tooth capital of the world. And the area really known as Casperson? I don't think I'm saying that right, but something Casperson Beach is actually the best place to find shark's teeth. And the reason isn't because there are tons of sharks teeming and swarming off the shores of the area near Venice. It's because of the currents. The currents actually take the teeth, for some reason, to this particular spot and just kind of deposit them there. And you can find teeth that range from small to massive, to even some that have come from a megalodon that could be millions of years old. And you can actually see some of these in the town. And the town has embraced this so much that you actually have a shark hunt, which I think is really cool. There are 10 miniature bronze statues placed around the downtown area, and it's like a scavenger hunt, especially for the kids. And since the downtown is small, it's walkable, and you can find them all in one day. And it's so cute. They're little bronze statues stuck up on two little poles in the sidewalk, and it's all different kinds of sharks. Reef sharks, nurse sharks, there's a hammerhead, great white. You know, and it really pays homage to the fact that that's what Venice is known for, and they've really embraced it. And they even have a big megalodon tooth statue. I believe it's out front of their city hall. So that's kind of cool. It's something different, something you don't hear about every town. Like every town in Florida has a citrus grove. Well, not every town in Florida is the shark tooth capital of the world. Now, like I alluded to a minute ago, the town is full of older places, and most of them are on the National Register of Historic Places. The Armada Road Multifamily District, Hotel Venice, and the Venice Depot are just a few to name in the town. There's actually way more than that. And it's great that they've actually historically protected these areas. And these houses are beautiful, especially from this master plan community. And one is the Blaylock House. And the Blaylock House is a 2-story Mediterranean Revival style residence that was added to the register in 1989. And the house does sit in the Nolan part of town, and you can still see an original part of the house to this day. It's, of course, been added on and modified and updated. But you can still see this house, and I think this house is cool for a couple reasons. It was originally built as part of Nolan's plan for the Brotherhood of Locomotive Engineers. And the Brotherhood of Locomotive Engineers were really the ones that took the master plan and wanted to create Venice into this town. This was for them and their town. And the house was originally built in 1925 for George E. Youngberg Sr. And this house is deemed the least architecturally interesting house in the area at that time. And if you look at a picture of the original house, it is nothing special. It was deemed to be boring with no focal point and nothing that stood out. However, this house has definitely stood the test of time. Of course, like I said, it's been added to and improved, and it was actually not named for its original owner, which was Youngberg. It was named after Blaylock, who was the second owner of the house. And of course, since then, many people have actually owned it, but who owns it now has actually upgraded the house to clean technology. And so that's really cool that they're embracing the solar panels and the rain and everything that is clean technology, especially in Florida. Solar panels I think they should just be a thing for every house because it's so sunny literally year-round. But it's cool that they took the original house and they appreciated it and they protected it and they added to it. And they saved that part of history because that is an important part of the history of the town. That's kind of really when the town became a town. And you can still see it. You can look it up on pictures, or if you walk by the house, it's on the right-hand side. And it's the tall 2-story part. And looking at pictures, I can't say it was boring. It's still a really beautiful house. But after seeing some other houses in town, yeah, it's a little boring. But, to each his own. Now, another house that sticks out in the town is actually the Banyan House. Banyan House is beautiful. This is one of my favorite houses in Venice. The house is a Mediterranean-style house that has actually now been split into vacation rentals, but it is still held on to its original features, including the banyan tree that the house is named after. This house is also in Nolan's plan, and it was built in 1926. It was originally built for Mr. Robert Marvin, and he was actually the manager of the Venice Company. Now, the cool thing about Marvin was not only was he manager of the Venice Company, but one of his really good friends was Thomas Edison. And Thomas Edison actually gifted him this banyan tree that still sits on this property today. And it is very noticeable, and it is a huge tree, and it is gorgeous. Now, of course, the house has changed hands over the years. It's done many different things, from residence to boarding house, preschool, daycare, even a USO. But they never cut down that banyan tree, which is really cool because it really did stand the test of time today. Now, of course, when it became a boarding house, it was known as the Copper Kettle Inn. And then it became a preschool day school. And what's really, really interesting about this house is that this house is actually home to the first swimming pool in Venice. It's not big by any means. It's only about 5 feet deep. But it's really beautiful. Like, the tile work is in there, and they've taken good care of it. And it's just a beautiful addition to this property. And what's really cool is a lot of kids in Venice actually learn to swim in this swimming pool. You can actually see the pictures in the house of all these kids that were there at one point in time and had a memory of this house. Now, the house eventually changed into the bed and breakfast vacation rental that it is today. It does have a main house and a separate house where you can rent apartments or you can rent rooms in the main house. And it's beautiful. It is gorgeous. It has beautiful, gorgeous common rooms that date back to the 1920s with the archwork, the crown molding. Even the furniture, they did really well to keep it to its style of just that gorgeous roaring 20s. Stained glass windows, Tiffany lamps, very, very beautiful, very well taken care of property. It also has a really cool feature in the backyard near the banyan tree in the swimming pool. It's a large koi pond that has a fountain and lots of koi. And it's just a really cool place for guests to relax around. Chairs around, you can just sit and relax, enjoy coffee from the coffee bar. And you just get to take in the beauty of Venice without feeling, like you're in a tropical paradise, but without feeling like you're in another town. So they've done really well. The property also has a hot tub that people can enjoy while staying at, and a rec room. And it's really only about a mile from the beaches. It's actually walkable, thanks to all the sidewalks in Nolan's master community that you can get around very easily. It's actually easy to walk to the downtown area and to the beach from this central location. The property is also on the House of Register of Historic Places as of 1989. I got to meet the owner of the house. She is lovely. It's owned by a family, and they're very nice. There is a house cat named Shadow. Shadow is there to greet people wholeheartedly. She has a lot to say. And it's a really cool place. I know Venice has its new stuff, and especially Hotel Venice, which is an actual historic place on the register, much like this one, but an actual hotel, that it's often overlooked. But I truly feel that in this hidden gem of a city, this is a truly hidden gem place to stay. It's very fun. It's very nice. They're very accommodating. They have bikes and beach equipment and towels and laundry that you can use. And so I really kind of fell in love with this property just from researching it and going and seeing it. Now, of course, Venice is known for other things other than the beach and some really cool old houses. It's also known for being the home to Florida's Audubon Rookery. And the rookery is populated by birds from all over Florida and the U.S. and Canada during peak migration season, but it's also home to birds year-round. Now, of course, the nesting season, where it is extremely full, is going to be December to May, so it's in the process of ending. Birds are going home, much like snowbirds. They're going back to wherever they came from. And the rookery is free. You can actually get in for free, and it's really a cool place to see many different types of birds at once, maybe some that you wouldn't necessarily see, especially during parts of the year, December to May. Now, you can sit at the shaded pavilions that surround the lake to see the birds as they nest on the island in the rookery. Nesting months, you can actually see things like the great blue heron, great egrets, anahingas. Me and anahingas are going to fight one day. Sorry, I have a thing about anahingas. But anahingas, snowy egrets, cattle egrets, glossy ibises, green herons, tricolored herons, and black-crowned night herons. Side note, before I lived in Florida, I did not know there were this many versions of any kind of bird, let alone herons and egrets. But, rant aside, you can see all these really beautiful, large birds that you normally wouldn't see in one spot actually at the rookery during these months while they're building and changing their nest. They're courting, they're creating families, they're incubating eggs, and of course they're raising their chicks that are born in this rookery. And like I said, the rookery is busy year-round, and it welcomes visitors to see birds year-round. Of course, ibises and little blue herons are usually seen nightly as they consider the rookery their home, and they come back each night to roost. And the best times really to see any of these birds are going to be early morning or late afternoon. And of course, the best vantage point at sunset is going to be on the west side across from the pavilion so that you can take in the beautiful view of nature as well as the birds. And I thought that was really cool. I know Florida's home to a lot of interesting random things, but for some reason I thought, because the Audubon is obviously known for birds, but to have its home in Florida, I thought that was really cool, especially in this smaller town. And Venice is full of fun things, such as being home to the Atlanta Braves spring training. You guys knew I was going to somehow talk about baseball in this. And the team plays here from mid-February to the end of March, or this year, at least March. They play at the Cool Today ballpark, which is kind of just south of downtown Venice, Northport. Depends on who you ask. It's either in Venice or Northport, but I'm using Venice because it says Venice in this one. So it's in that area. And the games are fun. I mean, they're cheap. You see a lot of cool players up and coming. You get to see your superstars. You get to see your new ones. And you're not paying $60 to go sit in the hot sun. It's cooler. It's nice. Concessions are even cheaper. And it's just a fun thing to do. And usually they have a lot of deals going on, especially for these kind of games. So it's really cool that the Braves actually moved to Venice for their spring training. And so, that's something I always talk about in a lot of my podcasts because a lot of spring training is in Florida, but it's definitely something I think everybody should check out at least once, especially if you're a baseball fan, because you also get to see teams that you would never get to see. I know that we've seen, like, the Pirates play Detroit. We've seen the Yankees a bunch because they play in Tampa, but we've seen them at other places. We've seen the Oakland A's although they played Tampa, but we've still seen them. Not many people from the west side come over here, so that was kind of cool. But these are just the things that you get to see, or places that, like, I'm not going to go see the New York Mets in New York. I'm not. But I'll drive half the state to go see them in Port St. Lucie. And it's the same thing. Like, growing up in Tennessee, the Braves were the team. That was the team. That was the closest team. And so now I can just go and see... Oh, I'm not talking about Cincinnati Reds. The Reds... No, Braves are closer. Sorry, Matthew's like, what about the Reds? No, talking about the Braves right now. But, you know, the Braves were kind of the team for most of Tennessee because Atlanta was, you know, pretty close to most of Tennessee. And so now, you know, you go a couple hours south and you get to see them again. You get to have a fun game. But all that being said, what I alluded to at the beginning, the beaches are probably one of the largest draws for Venice. They are beautiful, and they're there for more than just hunting shark's teeth. They are clean, beautiful sand, crystal blue, greenish waters. You can see, you know, like if you walk out on the pier, you can pretty much see to the bottom on a nice day. And it's free. The Venice fishing pier is free, and it's cool to walk on. You can see the whole surrounding area. We actually got to see a rainbow because it was raining at the right time. We got to see some people trying to surf, trying to fish. It was just a fun place to just go in and take in your surroundings, especially for free, because I know a lot of things aren't free anymore. But the cool thing about the pier is it's also home to fins and sharkies on the pier. And I'm telling you now, if you ever want some amazing seafood, you got to go to Sharky's. They have the coolest little tiki bar right at the end of the pier. Like, you walk off the pier, there's the tiki bar. They have the best fried grouper sandwich I've ever had. And I don't know what dressing they give you with it, but my gosh, it's amazing. So, and you get, you know, you get to have fruity drinks, pina coladas, rum runners, whatever your choice is, while you're taking in this beautiful ocean or looking at the pier. And it's just a really cool, interesting, fun place. Like I said, I love their fried grouper. Their fried shrimp was also amazing. And they were really nice. The drinks were actually super, super cheap compared to the rest of the area. Fins is a little more upscale. Nothing against Fins. It's on the second story, so you can see more of the ocean, take in more of the surroundings. But I don't know, it does have a little more upscale vibe. But Sharky's was just cool. Now, another cool place in Venice near the beaches is the North Jetty Park. And it's actually a really cool place for surfing. You can go in, you can take in the views. There's a small beach to sit on. It's just kind of a break in the water, and you can actually see the boats go in and out. And I thought that was really cool to go out there and just to see it. It's just another place to view. They also have the Brohard Paw Park. That is right, a paw park. It is a fun and popular place for those with furry friends. You can take your dog to the beach. And it's a really cool place where you can let your fur babies run and enjoy the surf. Please pick up after your dogs, though. That's just, please. Another cool place in Venice is actually the downtown area. It's not that big. It's got a really cool park in the middle of it. But it's interesting to walk around. There's an old pub. There's a couple different bakeries, restaurants, lots of shell shops, you know, the normal. But they have these statues. All around Venice, you're going to find a seahorse or a mermaid or both. And they've painted them different colors, and they've given them basically free reign to create their own statue out of this. And it's really cool to go, and they're all different. I'll post some pictures for this week, but they're all different. We saw a steampunk seahorse. We saw a rainbow seahorse. We saw the Mardi Gras mermaid. Hey guys, I want to introduce you to my newest sponsor, the Spice and Tea Exchange of Johns Pass. The Spice and Tea Exchange is a really cool spice and tea shop where their goal is to just add some flavor to your life. The shop is known for its custom blends, which are blended in-house by hand and go great on any curries, chicken, steaks, pastas, pretty much anything you can possibly imagine to cook up. They're also known for their loose leaf teas. They have over 60 different kinds and even a tea bar that lets you take a tea with you to go. So definitely check them out. They're located in Johns Pass on Madeira Beach. I look forward to seeing you there. Oh yeah, the Wonder Woman one. I forgot about that. There was a Wonder Woman mermaid. Sorry guys, Matthew's like telling me things I had forgotten. But it was really cool to walk around. But there's also this really cool place. I mean, okay. I'm going to go ahead and tell y'all now. Nothing in Venice is open late. Nothing. Even Publix closes at 9 o'clock. Like, nothing. All right? And we were like, we're going to go, we're going to have a couple drinks. And we found TJ Carney's. TJ Carney's is in the downtown area. It's a pub and a grill. They had live music. This guy was amazing. I don't remember his name, but he was a blues player. This kid, he was hitting B.B. King and Santana, and he was good. The staff was really nice. The bar was not, there was people there, but you didn't feel like you were standing on one another. And it was a really cool place to go. And of course, it was open, I think, till midnight or 2, depending on the time. And they had really good food. I mean, of course, it's an Irish pub, so you're going to get your fish and chips, your Reubens, your shepherd's pie. But they had some really cool choices as well. I actually loved the French onion soup. That was probably the best French onion soup I've had in a long time. And the potato skins were huge, and they give you onion dip. Nobody gives you onion dip. That was amazing. So, Venice has some really cool hidden spots, like Daryl's. There was a barbecue place called Daryl's, and it was really good. I mean, there's just so many cool, and then for breakfast, there was a lot of cool bakeries you could go to and things like that. But I'm going to tell you my favorite thing. I ate or drank in Venice. And I've not seen one of these in a very long time. And you guys are probably going to laugh when you hear this. But Sharky's on the pier had bushwhackers, y'all. Bushwhackers. Adult Frosties. You've never had one, go get one. I remember having them when we lived in Nashville. They were at that bar, that CD bar, which I'm sure is something else now. Or, no, it's probably still there. It's Bushwhackers. But Sharky's on the pier had them, and they were like $7.50 a piece, which is unheard of. And, y'all, you don't realize it till you stand up how much it's got in it. It was such a cool experience. And everything was walkable. I'll be honest with you, Ubers weren't the greatest there. They were a bit spotty. But it didn't matter, because we could just walk home. We could just walk to another park to hang out in, or, walk to a new beach, or not a nude beach, but a new beach. Find another place to go. And the other thing about Venice is it's really close in proximity to Sarasota, which I think that, oftentimes it accidentally gets overlooked because of Sarasota, or even go down south to Northport. But there's a really cool hidden spot between Sarasota and Venice, and near Osprey, and it's Casey Key Resort Mainland. And there's a reason I'm telling you guys about this place. There is someone who plays there, I would say 3 to 4 times a week, and his name is Tommy Santelli. And Tommy Santelli is an amazing person, and if you've seen my TikTok, that was him. He used to travel with the band America. He also taught my husband to play guitar. But he is such a nice, cool guy. He takes, what's the word I'm looking for? You can suggest things. He takes suggestions or requests. He knows his stuff. I mean, this man played everything from America, Eagles, Santana, all the way to Elton John, Elvis, Johnny Cash, Randy Travis. I mean, this man knows his stuff. So if you're looking for something fun to do in that area, go check out Casey Key Mainland Resort. They actually just opened a new restaurant in it too, Chef Rolf. AJ is an awesome bartender. I hope she hears this. She was so cool to us that night. And it's just a fun, hidden place. And that's the cool thing about Venice, and even really that whole area, but mainly Venice, is that you find these hidden spots. And due to season in Venice being snowbird season, it's actually quiet right now. There's not a lot of people. There's not a lot of crowding. Rooms are actually kind of cheap to go and stay down there. The beach is beautiful. I can't recommend it enough. Go check out the fun little downtown and the great shops and the restaurants and even the museum. Check out the old buildings. Walk around it. Have a drink. Don't walk around with your drink. That's illegal there. But walk around after having a drink and explore. See how many seahorses and mermaid statues that you can find, or go look for shark's teeth. Go sit at Sharky's on the pier, have a couple drinks, go look for some shark's teeth. You'll find your little slice of paradise in this little small town, I promise you. Like I said, guys, it does close at 9. So be prepared. But I feel that Venice doesn't get enough love, so I definitely wanted to give it some love today. I'll post some really cool pictures of the town that I took while we were there. And if you have a favorite thing about Venice, please let me know. Email me, thatfloridafeel@gmail.com. Tell me about it on Facebook when I do the post for this, or Instagram. I have a TikTok. Y'all want to see some interesting videos about Florida? Go look at my TikTok, that Florida feeling. And thank you again, guys, for supporting all this, for making me want to get out and see more of Florida and finding out more of Florida so I can tell you guys more about certain parts of Florida. And if you have something that you want me to check out, please let me know. Give me a suggestion. Say hi. I love interacting with you guys on Facebook. I love getting my messages, especially from Shelly, Nancy, and Pete on my Instagram. You guys are great. I love talking to you guys each week, sometimes daily. It's really cool. And I think it's cool that we can create this Florida community out of this. So thank you guys for helping me get past those really bad first episodes, for engaging in my polls and my questions and answering them, even if it sounds stupid. And yes, there's a difference between grilling and barbecue. But anyways. So thank you guys. I hope you've enjoyed learning about Venice. I hope you have found some new place to go. Check out my next few episodes. I'm going to have a couple more guests on. We're going to do a first year thing. I'm definitely going to talk about hurricanes. Hurricane season is upon us, guys. It starts in June. Be prepared. I'm going to start talking about it soon. But as always, guys, I hope you've enjoyed this. So my Florida man story for this week, I can't pick one. It seems like the news lately has been one Florida man after another, after another, after another. So I'm not going to talk about a Florida man that did anything wrong. I'm going to talk about somebody I saw on TikTok, and you've probably heard about him, and it's, oh my God, it's Wix. And he's the guy on TikTok that, you see the thing, man, I caught it on my flip phone. So if you want to see some fun Florida stuff, go check him out on TikTok. So I'm going to talk about a good Florida guy today. Check him out. He's really nice. He does live videos. He's got some really funny stuff, but he always catches it on his flip phone. But guys, thank you for listening. I hope you guys have a great weekend. I hope you guys have a great week. Again, if you have any suggestions, comments, shout-outs, let me know. If you have a second, please give me a 5-star review on Apple or Spotify. I really appreciate you guys doing that. It helps more people see the podcast, and it's just showing some love to each other. So guys, stay hydrated. If it's raining, stay dry. If it's cold, stay warm. If it's hot, drink some water. But I love you guys, and I will catch you guys next week.